Welcome to Unapologetically Me with Kalila. Yes, you're looking at my feet, and this is not urine that my feet are soaking in. This is actually water, distilled water, that I'm doing a foot detox with. So you can see lots of particles in there. Generally, when you see black specks like that at the top, that would be considered heavy metals and such. And gosh, there's a lot that came out this time. See some more over here. So I am going to be doing soaking my feet in aged urine after this. So this is part of my urine series, if you will. But I did want to show, this is after half an hour, kind of like running it through a little bit longer because I was just relaxing and sitting here and I didn't feel like getting up. But anyways, I'm going to be changing this out in a minute and putting in some aged urine with warm water and soaking in that for about 30 minutes. And then I'll add that to this snippet of video and kind of go over what I've noticed from that. So this is just the first little snippet of me doing some detoxing. Okay, so I'm back and I'm getting the aged urine ready. So right now it's just got hot water in there, and I'm going to add some of the aged. Now I have this huge bottle. So what I've been doing is keeping it in the large bottles, large mason bottles, and then when I have that, after it's been out in the sun for 3 weeks, 21 days, then I've been putting it into the large bottle. So this is about 2 weeks, about a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of aged urine or extra urine from what I did not drink. And I'm going to pour in a few cups into this. I don't want to use too much because this is my oldest aged, and I'm wanting to save some. So that was actually a lot more than 2 cups. Put in quite a bit, but that gives it that nice color. And now I'm going to put my feet in, which it's still nice and hot, and it's bearable. I got it pretty hot because I figured the urine was going to cool it down too much. But anyways, that is the next part of this detox that I'm doing today. I'm going to let my feet soak for about 30 minutes in this. Using very hot water actually helps open up the pores so you're able to absorb more. So the benefits are going to be even more amplified, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and do this soaking, and I'm probably, yes, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to do an enema after this. I'm taking it totally easy today so that it'll be just a healing day, if you will. So this is just part of the letting things go. Today is 11/11. It's that powerful number portal, and I'm hoping to just release a lot and get a lot of healing done today. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll be back. My stand doesn't want to work for me right now. There we go. So I'm back. I thought while I'm sitting here soaking my feet in the nice, very warm urine, because I had that water pretty hot, so it's finally cooling down a bit where I can tolerate it better. But I thought, why not just hang out with you a bit and kind of go over some of the history about urine. So it's been used for well over 5,000 years. It's mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned in a lot of other writings, ancient traditions, ancient Egypt, they used it. The Greeks used it. It's been used for many different healing properties from it. Not just drinking it, but topically. Obviously, I'm soaking my feet in it, so that's going straight into my blood supply. It's bypassing any of the defenses, but it's just right into the blood. And because it's been through the blood already, it's recognized by the body. So the body goes, what I need, less work for me to do and everything, right? And when it's aged urine, it's got more blood plasma. It's got more of the stem cells. It's got more nutrients. It's more dense. on those things that our body needs. So it's very healing. This is only my second time doing a foot soak with it. And I did notice, as I've read and heard about, it makes your skin very soft. So if you have like rough feet, it makes them very soft. Well, I love to go barefoot. And so I'm out barefoot on the ground, on the dirt and the rocks and everything else. And so I do have, I wouldn't say rough feet, but I do have fairly tough feet. I can handle, walking on those things. But still, by doing this, and this is, like I said, the second time I've done it, my feet still feel very soft, even though I can still manage to climb on the rocks and everything. So something to it. I mean, obviously, them not being as rough, I do feel things a little bit more sensitive, but I can still not have any issues running around on the rocks and such. Yes, I can talk. Anyways, so that's one of the things about doing the soak. I don't know all of the benefits. There's just too many to name, and it's very individual. So for me, I've mentioned in other videos, I've been on a healing journey my whole life. I was very young when I was put on this journey of paying attention to my body and what I put in it and how it's going to affect me. So when I was growing up, my formative, the first 7 years is the most impactful, right? That's when you get hardwired to things. And it was, you are what you eat. And I remember because I had older siblings, so I'd hear about what they learned in school. And my sister, who was 4 years older than me, loved playing school. So she'd come home and teach me and my brother, who were not yet in school, what she learned. So there was that. And then I had another sister who was 9 years older than me. So she was learning much higher stuff. And she would talk about what she had learned. And so in my formative years, prior to going to school and having education stomped out of me, if you will, I was being exposed to some important concepts. And gosh, Hippocrates saying, let thy food be thy medicine be thy food, was a huge one. So I understood that there was a connection between what I ate and my health. And then I have a mother who was obese and very sick and constantly going to the doctors and taking all of these prescriptions and just doing all of this stuff and being just like crazy. She was bipolar. She was not diagnosed with that because it didn't exist back then. They didn't know about it. So she was locked up in the mental institution a few times during my younger years. All 3 times that I can recall was during my first 7 years. I think the last time she had a breakdown, I want to say I was 5 at that time. That was the last one that she had, was when I was 5. I don't remember how old I was. Nope, might have been in school. I'm trying to think. I think I might have been about 6 or 7. I think I was already in school when she had the last one. But anyways, obviously there was some issues with my mom. And so her eating a very unhealthy diet of, junk food and fried pork rinds, they take the pig skin and deep fry it and it's all crunchy. She loved that. And she pickled pork's feet, and she would eat bacon. She loved her pork one, which is just like full of parasites. But it was also the unhealthy foods and like deep fried fatty everything. And after she left my father when I was 11, she pretty much quit cooking. Like, she would cook from scratch because it was cheaper. But once she was out of the house and she had her own money, all of a sudden, if it was a fruit or a vegetable, it came out of a can. Maybe frozen, but generally out of a can. And cakes, they came out of a package where you just add water pretty much. And I mean, everything she made, that even if she called it homemade, was a packaged thing. So I veered away from things like that, and I went homemade. I want to make it from scratch. I want to know what's in this cake. I want to know what's in, whatever I'm fixing. I make my own spaghetti sauce. It's like, why would you buy a jar that you're paying way too much for when for half or less you can have fresh made? Why would you do it? And then you get to know what's inside the ingredient, what you're putting into it, and there's not all those extra ingredients. You're going, why do they need that when I don't? Too many ingredients in a lot of these things that really don't belong in our bodies. So that was how I got on this trajectory of taking care of this body from an early age. Like I said, I was about 5 years old when my mama told me that you just wait, one day you're going to be fat like me. And that was like a, oh no, I won't. She made it seem like being fat was the worst thing in the world. She had done everything. She had her stomach stapled. She had gotten a tapeworm. She was doing all these weird exercises, walking around in a plastic suit that had elastic that was tight around her wrists, ankles, and even around the neck, so that it left like a little ring when she'd take it off to sweat off fat. And yeah, you sweat off a lot of the water and you gain it right back on. But she was obsessed with trying to lose weight while at the same time over consuming, because that's how she comforted herself. She was raised where she didn't have enough to eat. She quite often went to bed hungry, so she had that constantly being on a starvation mode. She had mentioned to me before that no matter what, she never felt satisfied. She just was constantly hungry. There was like this hunger inside of her that she could not satiate. And that's why she had such a weight problem, because no matter what, she felt hungry. It was something, like I said, from her childhood that was imprinted very deeply of there's not enough. You don't have enough. You need more. And so that was her path that she came here to work on. For me, apparently it was, here's the trajectory of health at an early age. Take care of this body. Share what you learn with others, which is what I've always tried to do. And it usually comes with a lot of resistance because people don't like change. And if you call them out, which I can be just very a matter of fact with my neurodivergent brain, I don't understand a lot of the fluff that people use in their language. I'm totally good with trying to make things sound nice. I'm not going to say, you're an idiot for eating crap food. What are you thinking? I might say, you should be eating a little bit more of this and probably less of that. But that being said, people still kind of take it very personal. And I mean, I get it. Your diet, what you're putting into your body is a part of you. I mean, you are what you eat, right? So we are a reflection of what we're putting into our bodies. And if I tell you, or anybody tells you that that's wrong, like challenge people on their coffee, and man, they get protective. That's like that's their God in the bottle kind of thing, or in the cup, whatever. And they get very protective of it. They don't want to think that something that they enjoy, something that brings them pleasure in some way, shape, or form, could be bad, could be poisoning their body. They don't want to hear it. So I might not always say things as fluffed as people would like to hear it. They do have a tendency to cringe up a little bit, but in my reality, I'm planting seeds. That's all I can do. It's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I can tell you information. I can share with you what I've learned. It's up to you to make the choice, and only you know what your body needs. What my body needs is not the same thing as your body. So don't judge yourself based on anybody but yourself. And the goal is to just do better than you did yesterday. That's it. As long as every day I do a bit better than I did yesterday, I'm making huge strides, right? I mean, if I look back 5 years, after 5 years of every day just doing a little bit better, I'm going to be miles ahead from where I'm at. Versus the every day I relive my past, and that's all I need to do. As long as I can get through today, I'm good. I'll do the same thing I did yesterday because it worked, and I'll just stay on that trajectory. Versus okay, well, that was fine, but maybe today I could step it up a little bit. Maybe today I could get a little bit more time out in the sun. Maybe I can make sure I do some earthing. I could drink some more water. I could avoid any sugar. Just today, no refined sugars. You can still have your fruit. You can still have some honey. Just no refined sugars. just for today. And then maybe tomorrow you'll say, you know what, gosh, I didn't have any refined sugars yesterday and that felt really good. I can keep doing that, and maybe, just maybe, I can drink a little bit more water instead of having coffee or tea or something else, or even juice. Especially if it's a pre-made juice versus one you made yourself. There's other things in there, and it's been stored and it's been cooked, and it has no nutritional value at that point because it's been processed. It just has the illusion of, gee, I'm being healthy because I'm drinking this juice, versus the, I made it myself. It's like 15 minutes old, right? I just put the juice in, it's 5 minutes, so I drink it right out. You're getting all the nutritional value, because every minute that the fruit has been picked, it's losing its nutritional value. It's not as good as it was that first minute it was picked from the tree, right? Well, when you're processing it, i.e. making it into a juice, or, you know, if I'm sauteing it and having it slightly steamed or something like that, however I want it, you know, a little al dente, because you want to keep some of that rawness to it. But every step of that is taking away more and more of the nutrients. And so trying to have things as whole as possible is the best idea. But do it in little steps. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. If I'm just doing a bit better than I did yesterday, today, then I'm doing better. And I'm going to be on that trajectory of always doing better. It's not hard once you put it in small little snippets. It's when I'm here and I want to be there and I'm like going, oh gosh, that's way too far. I'm never going to get there. I'll just stay here. And that's what a lot of people do. That goal is so far away. It's gone. I'll never have that happy life because I'm sitting here in my misery. I'm never going to have the ability to do that hike that I want to do because my body isn't healthy. And I don't know how to change it. I can't afford to eat organic. A lot of people say that. I can't afford to buy the better quality food because it's so expensive. Well, here's a fun thought for you. You don't need to eat so much. We don't need 3 meals a day. I eat 1 meal a day. I've been doing that for well over 10 years at this point. 1 meal, sometimes 2. I'll have snacks every now and then. Sometimes I'll skip the whole day and just fast. I'll even dry fast at times where I'm not having any food or water. So there's no rules to how much you consume. We don't have to be brainwashed thinking we need 3 meals a day to constantly keep all of our energy in our abdomen, in our stomach, processing and breaking that down. So what needs all of the nutrients, the brain needs 1/5 of all the nutrients that we take in, all the calories, goes up here. Yeah, if I'm constantly eating, it's not getting it. Now you might think, well, I'm getting all those calories for it. It can't use them because all those calories are being utilized in your gut, processing all of that crap that you've put into it, because it's not food that the body recognizes. Processed foods, there's hardly anything that's actual food in there, if anything. And the body has to process it out and eliminate it. And that's a lot of work. And so you wonder why you just had that big meal and an hour later you're feeling hungry. That's the body saying, I didn't get those nutrients I need. I still need stuff. You did it wrong. Let's try again. Right? So how about just eat healthy? Eat less. Cut out 1 meal. Just cut out breakfast. See how long you can wait to have breakfast. If you need to have some warm water, don't drink anything cold. Don't drink cold water, especially. But our drinks should not be cold. That tightens up the system and it shocks it and it can't process. Even your juices should be at least room temperature, which I know they don't taste as good that way. And I'm still processing that ability to not just take it straight out of the refrigerator and drink it when I've made a big batch and I'm storing in the fridge, and actually taking it and letting it warm up or putting just some warm water in it to, cut off the edge a little bit so it's not so cold. Anyways, just a few little thoughts on how we could take care of our health. I'm going to keep soaking here for a few more minutes. And gosh, I don't know if you can see my feetsies are getting all nice and pink. The bottom, they're very soft. Wow, very, very soft. So I still have about 10 more minutes of soak time to do my 30-minute soak. So yeah, I'll be back on after I go ahead and do that enema, which is going to be after this. And I'll tell you about my experience. So thanks a lot for following me. Bye. Okay, so I'm back. And I did the foot detox, as you saw in the video. And I did the soaking in the urine with the feet. And then I went and did the enemas with the urine. I mixed it 1/3 urine, aged urine, to 2/3 distilled water that I heated up so it wasn't like shock cold or anything. You never want to use cold water ever in the body. I mean, just not good. Anyways, so I did that. I took a nice hot detoxing bath with some Dead Sea salts and urine. And then I've washed all of that. And so I'm nice and clean and ready to talk about my experience for today. So I had read that other people who have done enemas with urine, they like, be careful, you know, it's going to be like really fast. They couldn't hold it. I don't know if my urine is not aged as long because it's only been a month that just over a month that I've been doing urine therapy. So I don't have anything long aged. It's just, the most I have is, you know, like a month, right? So it was the aged urine, but I also don't have mine covered with a lid. I have it with cloth over it so that it does get to breathe out, so it's not high in ammonia. So it's much more mellow. It's got a much more pleasant smell. I prefer it that way. So I don't know if that was it, if it's because I don't really have any health issues. I'm primarily doing this cleanse to make sure that whatever parasites or toxins that have been stored in my body, I'm doing as well as I can to flush those out. I do understand that urine therapy can help with neurological issues. So I'm figuring just cleaning and getting as much into my body and healing wherever I can, that maybe my brain can kind of slow down a little bit and, I don't know, maybe stay in one train of thought for more than 30 seconds or something. Maybe I would be able to remember things much clearer. My memory is not as bad as it used to be. My struggles are primarily with, like, I can remember certain quotes from a book as an example, but not remember which book it came from or who said it as an example. Or I might remember that, you know, Tesla is a million times better than Edison, and Edison was a robber who just like stole other people's inventions and claimed them for himself. He's a businessman. He was not a great inventor as everybody thinks of him. So I remember those things, but don't ask me to tell you too much about which inventions, because that's too much, it's just too much for me to remember. I can't even think of the right words for that. So, obviously dysnomia is still very prevalent with me, which is the word retrieval aspect of a neurodivergent brain. But I don't know, maybe that'll get all cleared up. Who knows? But this is still a new process for me. So I did want to mention in my other videos, and it just kind of got lost, is there's a lot of medications on the market that have been using urine that people spend a lot of money on, that if they were just drinking their own urine, they wouldn't need that medication. So I'm going to mention just the top few that came up on the search. And the first one was Premarin, which is a hormone replacement. And they get the urine that they use in that particular medication, if you're taking it, you might think twice about it. That comes from pregnant horses, pregnant mares. And they are not treated well. So not only is it not your own fresh urine that is made for you, but it's taken from pregnant horses that are mistreated, and that also, that energy, those hormones from the stress gets put into the urine as well. So if you're feeling stressed out or having anxiety while you're taking that medication, that could be the reason, because you are receiving hormones from a horse that is stressed. The conditions I heard are horrific. So there's that. Then there's also fertility drugs, the Menofor Humidgen or whatever. I don't know, there's a few, I can't even pronounce those words. But any of the fertility drugs, pretty much all of them across the board are going to have urine in them. And and I got this from ChatGPT, so take it with a grain of salt. But one of the things it did say is the majority of those come from either pregnant women or postmenopausal women is where you're getting that. That's where the urine is derived from for those drugs. And then there's the clot dissolving drug. I can't pronounce it. Urokinase. I have no idea. I have it written down like right by where I'm filming from, but yeah, have no idea how to pronounce that. But it's a clot dissolving medication that is also derived from urine. So urine helps keep our body functioning very healthy. It helps keep the blood circulating clear so that you don't get these clots, so you don't have heart problems, so that you're able to just have this healthy body. It takes care of everything. It is literally the elixir of life. And we're flushing it down the toilet, and we're told it's waste, and we're told how it's bad and we shouldn't do it. And there's even like warnings if you're looking at trying this, with therapy, be careful or whatever, like it's something to be afraid of. Doctors will speak against it. There are those that will speak for it too. There are plenty of doctors that are recognizing how important it is. And those are kind of the doctors you want to go to, the ones that aren't money driven, the ones that actually care and want to find what's going to help you. You don't want a doctor that's just going to say how much he can make off of those kickbacks from you getting all those drugs, because it's not enough that they're charging a fortune for you to go. I mean, you got your copay if you've got good insurance, but let's face it, they charge roughly, $100 to $150 for that initial visit, whether the insurance is paying for it or you are. And then they're wanting those prescriptions. Here, 2 or 3 of them they'll let you have with. I remember once going into the doctor because I had some stomach issues, and it was before I reduced down to just 1 meal a day. I was just overeating, basically, and eating empty calories, but that's another story. But I went to the doctor, and I was like, I just want a diagnosis. I want to know what's going on so I know if it's a certain food allergy or what I need to be paying attention to. And he's doing this. He literally didn't listen to a word I said outside of stomach issues, had 3 prescriptions written for me. One of them was to counter the effects of one of the others. So 3 prescriptions. I'm like going, no, I don't want those. I just want to know what's going on. He wouldn't order the test that I wanted. Go figure. But he did say, here, take them just in case you change your mind. In which I went and dropped it in the trash can and walked out. It's like, thank you very much. You're not the doctor for me. We need to be our own advocates. Their only interest is how much money they can make off of you. So take whatever they say with a grain of salt, right? Think about it as to, does it resonate with me? Do I have a deficiency in this drug they're trying to push that's what my body needs? Or is that just going to cover up a symptom but not take care of the cause, in which I'm going to be continually putting in that bad thing that's causing the problem in the first place? They don't care about your health. They care about your sickness. Your sickness is what makes them money. Find a doctor that actually gives a shit about your health, if there is such one, in your in your vicinity, nearby. Gosh, I'm struggling to talk today. It's kind of a normal thing for me. But anyways, again, this is like the end of today's video on detoxing with the urine. I do feel very cleared from doing that, especially my abdomen. I did the little ball, those little enema balls that they have. And I did that 3 times. And I did go into a plow or a shoulder stand to allow it to get really up as far as I could into the intestine, and held it for as long as I could, or as long as I felt comfortable, because after a while it was just like, yeah, I just want to get rid of it so I can do the next one, because I want the bath. I really wanted the bath at that point. I did do, first thing in the morning when I drank my urine, I saved some and put it all over my body. I did my eyes and did my nose, so been doing all of that pretty regular. And I have been noticing, like, I'm wearing my glasses so I could read the card there, but it's kind of hard for me to adjust my eyes because they are getting better, and I'm seeing better without my glasses. Not better without than with, but better than I could before, so things are getting better. And I've been wearing them less, and I've been doing eye exercises as well, so I'm really hoping to get rid of these things permanently within the next, let's say, realistically, sheesh. Speaking is not easy today for me. Realistically, say 6 to 12 months, roughly, is what I would hope to be able to just like, these are gone, don't need them anymore. I can take them off. I can still see kind of me. It's kind of funny. I can see, but it's not, it's all just kind of fuzzy. But it's getting better, because before I wouldn't be able to see as clearly as I can right now without my glasses. So, that being said, it's a personal, individual journey. All of our health issues, whatever you have going on, it's your journey and what your body needs for that. And just as a thought, if you've heard of EFT, which is the tapping thing where you're like, you know, as an example, even though I am stressed out today, I love and accept myself completely and fully. And I'm not really stressed today. I don't really get stressed out. I get overwhelmed, but I don't think stressed out is the right phrase for me. But that's a whole nother story too. Gosh, I'm just going off on all kinds of crazy tangents, aren't I? And you're still here, if you are. But you do that. And for me, if I have a headache, if it's a stress headache, or if it's like water or something like that, dehydration, I can quite often tap away and it'll get better. And then I can, like, you know, drink some water or do whatever might be needing to get balanced. But if it's a chemical headache, and I stress that because I'm very chemically sensitive, especially to mostly women's perfumes, because they generally have this one ingredient, whatever it is, it's common in perfumes, that just really kicks my head like it's bad. And there's no amount of tapping that can get rid of it. There's no amount of anything that can get rid of it, aside from I need to just wait it out, allow myself to vomit, and get whatever's been going on out of my body. So I'm really careful about going out in public and how close I am in proximity to people, and paying attention to if there's a smell I need to back off from or not. And yeah, so that's one way of looking at it, as far as it. The tapping helped with the stress or tension headaches, but it didn't help with the chemical headache for me. So different modalities will help with different things. That's the message I'm trying to get through to you. And yeah, keep in mind I have one of those nice, fun, neurodivergent brains that can't always get things straight all the time. So anyways, that's going to take us to the end of this video. I thank you for watching. Hopefully you're still toying with the idea, or maybe you've tried your own urine. One of the suggestions that I've heard about, and I think it's a great one, is to just take some urine and put it in a cup and just stick your finger in it and smell it and taste it, do whatever. That will help you let go of your phobias around it, realizing it's not that bad. And there's medications or even foods that you've tried or enjoyed even that might have a stronger taste. I mean, to me, urine tastes a hell of a lot better than coffee. I will never drink coffee, ever. That to me is the most disgusting thing in the world. Yet a lot of people like it. Go figure. So choose your poison, so to speak. Find what you're willing to try. And give it a try. if just ingesting is just completely off the books for you right now, just rub it into your skin. Just rub it in. You can put it on your face if you want. If you're too afraid, you can put it on your face. Just wherever you feel. I mean, I like to put it on, especially the heart space and the lungs, just because I feel like that's me giving that part of, that golden elixir, so to speak, back into my body and just thanking it for the medicine that it is. So find what works for you. If you feel called to keep on checking this out and playing around with your own urine therapy, there's lots of books. There's Facebook groups you can join. I'm on a few of those. That's where I learned about somebody, just like literally he said that he barely got it in before he was having to go to the bathroom. So I understand that, some people have very strong reactions to doing the enemas, and he was not using straight urine. So something to that. Anyways, have a beautiful day, and thank you so much, and I hope you continue on with this journey. Bye-bye.